Well, there's a few simple words in life, or sayings. Obviously, the first one is do not make Trevor Phillips angry. And the second one is, well, of course, don't talk about Fight Club. But the one thing that people will never tell you is that there's bound to be disappointing stuff in life. And, well, today, that's kind of what today's video is all about. Transformers, well, the first three Transformers movies had soundtracks. And, well, something I noticed was that with each new installment, the soundtracks kinda got worse. While I loved the second movie's soundtrack, I kinda preferred the first. And I was hoping that I would be wrong about this one, as Dark of the Moon is probably my favorite, or second favorite Transformers movie, or maybe just my favorite along with Bumblebee. It's difficult to decide sometimes. But with one of my favorite Transformers movies, I just assumed that the soundtrack would be equally as good and have tons of songs that I would love to re-listen to. That's kinda not what I got. In fact, I was so disappointed after I listened to this one that I re-listened to Disturbed's second album in its entirety just to hear something that I knew I would love. So, let's get into the review. And yeah, some people might think I'm a little mean towards this album, but I think if you knew me as a person and how much I loved the third movie, it would be very understandable where I am coming from. So, what are my thoughts on this one? Do I recommend it? And how bad do I think it is? Well, answering the first question, I really don't like it. Honestly, the bonus tracks were just so much better, which really sucks because, well, pretty much every bonus track is exclusive to, well, was a Russian exclusive version, and there's some really good songs on that, mainly the Mini of Horror song from Billy Clylo, which really should have been on the standard version of the album. Then there's a Linkin Park song, Burning in the Skies, that again should have been on this album, but they probably knew that someone would review this up on YouTube about 11 years later and decided just to make their life miserable for that day. That's not to say that the standard edition doesn't have some really good songs. The Linkin Park song that they had on it is pretty good. Same with the Paramore song, and the Skillet song that they had on this one, Awake and Alive, was a really interesting addition for this one. It's just, when your bonus tracks are better than the standard release, I feel like you probably have a bit of an issue. Of course, that's not to say that all the bonus tracks are good. I mean, Sweet Emotion and North Star are songs that I kind of feel like I could have gone without. Of course, speaking of the bonus tracks, that kind of made me remember that not all of them were Russian exclusive, so correcting my mistake, but most of the good ones were, which is a shame, because there's a Tattoo song on that's the final song of it, and it's easily the best song on the soundtrack. Kind of rivaling that Billy Clylo song. But compared to Revenge of the Fallen and Transformers, this one is just such a huge step down. Even comparing it to some of the other albums, well, soundtracks I reviewed, such as the Freddy vs. Jason soundtrack and the 4 Underworld soundtracks, there's just so much wrong with this one, and it's just sad, because I was really hyped to listen to this one, only to find out that it just really kind of fails to compare to some of the other ones I reviewed. I don't think I have much hope for Bumblebee as I once did, because I like that one, but I'm not sure if I like the soundtrack. Of course, we'll just have to wait and see, as I have not listened to it yet. But at least on a bright side, this video is done. So I guess the final question is, would I recommend it? Yes and no. I recommend it because obviously I know I'm not gonna like everything I review, but this might be up someone's alley. But I also don't recommend it just because if you're expecting this to be as good as the other ones or to blow them out of the water, it could be possible that disappointed. But then again, I still feel I would recommend this one just because I know there's bound to be plenty of people who have a different opinion on this one. But anyways, it was pretty fun getting to review this one. It's not entirely disappointing, just felt that I should kind of act it up a bit just to make it seem worse than it is. And honestly, this isn't probably the worst thing I've reviewed. Probably the worst thing I've reviewed is probably Skeletons from Danzig, and it'll probably be Gorgeous Frankenstein or that Limp Bizkit album. Okay, kidding. That one wasn't that bad. But anyways, goodbye everyone. I'll of course be back next time, but I'll probably be complaining about this one a bit more. So sorry about that.